Hello everyone and welcome to lesson 24 on how to drive a stick shift vehicle. This time I got the camera set up hopefully well enough to where it won't cause me any problems. Last time I tried to do a longer video on this sort of thing and the camera holder that I have in my car didn't cooperate. Now, I've covered this before. I don't use the transmission as a kickstand. I use the parking brake and put the vehicle either in gear. Right now I'm at a upward angle. So the vehicle is not only in the parking brake up, but the vehicle is in first gear. If I was at a downward angle, the parking brake would be up and the vehicle would be in reverse, which is right there. If I was on flat ground, the parking brake would be up and the vehicle would be in first gear. I don't leave when I park my vehicle, when I park my stick shift vehicle, I put the vehicle in gear, either in first or in reverse, and I put the parking brake up. I don't use the transmission as a kickstand. Some people do. I'm not one of them. Also, I've covered this before. If, let's say I would need to be on flat ground to show you this. So what I'm going to do is seatbelt on. I would need to be on flat ground to show you this, but I can also show it to you at an angle. I would prefer to be on flat ground. Put the parking brake down. Now, first, I just want to say that any manual transmission vehicle, I'm going to put the parking brake up because I want to do a few more things before I show you this, what I wanted to show you. When you get ready to learn how to drive a stick shift, I recommend you not only get used to using the clutch pedal, but also get used to moving this around, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, reverse. Now, that's this vehicle. This vehicle is a 5-speed. There's 3-speed, 4-speed, 5-speed, and 6-speed, and, well, actually also 7-speed out there. Mine's a 5-speed. And get used to using this. Get used to moving it around. All the different gears and in reverse before you take off in it. Also, when any manual vehicle, whether it be a paddle shifter, 3 on the column, 3 on the floor, whatever, or just a standard stick shift. When I said paddle shifter, I've seen at least one vehicle where, it was paddle shifters. There were little paddles on the steering column that you shifted with. Any manual transmission vehicle, though, whether it's in gear or in neutral, you have to use the clutch, push the clutch pedal in to start it, because if you don't, it doesn't start. Clutch pedal in, and we're started. Parking brake's down. This is what I was going to show you. There's 2 different ways of taking off in a manual vehicle. Obviously, you have to put it in gear first, and you can either. Some people like to use the clutch pedal, and they like to release the clutch pedal slowly until the vehicle takes off. Other people like to give it a little bit of gas and slowly release the clutch pedal. I myself like to give it a little bit of gas and slowly release the clutch pedal, because if you just try to release the clutch pedal, I'm going to try and get on flat ground to show you this next part. I'm backing out of a parking spot right now. This isn't exactly flat ground, but it's flatter than that spot I was in. If you try to, it's in first gear so I can get situated, and if you are on flat ground and you try to quickly release the clutch pedal to take off, this happens. That. Killed it. So, clutch pedal in. Vehicle's in first gear. Regardless of if I'm on, it also depends on the situation. I do not give it fuel. But I don't push the gas pedal. I just slowly release the clutch pedal if I'm at a downward angle. If I'm at an upward angle, which is what I'm at very slightly right now, or if I'm on flat ground, I give it a little bit of gas and slowly release the clutch pedal. I don't just... The only time I just release the clutch pedal is when... Hold on. There's a vehicle behind me that was trying to get around me. Only time I just release the clutch pedal is when I'm at a downward angle. But other than that, I give it a little bit of gas and slowly release the clutch pedal. Off we go. Shift into second gear. I've said this as well. Anytime... Sorry, there was something in the road that I had to avoid. Anytime you want to shift, I have seen videos on YouTube where people don't use the clutch pedal when they're shifting. I remember seeing at least one very long video where the guy was saying, you don't need the clutch pedal. All you have to do is get to the right speed and do it at the right time, and the vehicle will shift. You can just use the shifter. Even though I've seen it in YouTube, I do not recommend that, and I do not do that. I use the clutch pedal anytime I want to shift, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm hitting the clutch pedal to shift into the next gear. Used to finding the bite point as well when you are driving. Find the bite point. Find the point in which you can do shift into the gear. Shift from neutral into gear, or just shift gears in general. Right now it's in neutral. If I don't use the clutch pedal, it won't go into gear. I think it might be quicker in terms of the destination I'm driving to go the other direction. I was going to turn left, but now I'm thinking I'm going to go right. I want to get to a spot where I can get into all 5 gears. Not at once, obviously. Second gear, third gear. And if I don't use the clutch pedal to get into neutral, this is what happens. It won't go. Well, I'm sure with enough force it would, but I'm not going to do that. That's hard on the car, hard on the transmission. This vehicle, I've said this before in my other videos. This vehicle is a 2.3 liter, 4-cylinder, 5-speed Mazda 6. On average, it does 0 to 10 in first, 10 to 20 in second, 20 to 30 in third, 30 to 40 in fourth, and anything above 40 miles an hour is 5th gear. You also have to keep an eye on your RPMs. Most people say that you want to shift between 2,500 and 3,000. I shift as low as 2,000 and I shift as high as 3,000. Sometimes it just depends on where I'm at. Like if I'm on the interstate and I'm doing 55 miles, or if I'm on the interstate doing 70 mile an hour in 5th gear, my RPMs are a little bit above 2,500. I can't shift any higher than 5th gear though. This is a 5-speed. I've done this for YouTube videos, but I don't do it on a regular basis. I have skipped gears. I've gone from 1st to 3rd to 5th. I've taken off from 1st gear and shifted directly into 4th gear. Immediately, sped up and is shifted immediately into 4th gear from that point. I've also gone from 1st to 2nd to 3rd to 5th, and 1st to 2nd to 4th to 5th. The last 2 that I listed, I do those on a semi-regular basis, but you have all these gears in your manual vehicle for a reason. You have the clutch pedal for a reason. Use them. In terms of downshifting, when you want to downshift, that's getting into slowing down and or stopping in a manual vehicle. If you want to, in my eyes, there's multiple different ways, and I'll get to the most advanced here in a moment. First and most common is to just hit the clutch pedal, put the vehicle in neutral, release the clutch pedal, and then hit the brake. I'm not doing that right now because I'm driving, but the second way is to, if the vehicle is in gear, simultaneously hit the clutch and the brake, or another way of doing that same way of stopping and or slowing down is to have the vehicle in gear, push the clutch plate in all the way, and then or to the bite point, and then slowly push the brake. But the most advanced, in my opinion, but also my preferred way of slowing down and or stopping, is to downshift. Like right now I'm in third gear doing 30 mile an hour. Downshifting in a second, vehicle slows down by itself. When you want to downshift, if you are, let's say you're starting from fifth gear, 55 miles an hour, this is how I do it. I do not downshift into fourth gear from fifth gear unless I'm doing at least 55 to, between 40 and 50. Well, actually, I don't downshift if I'm doing 40 because I'm already in fourth. I'm still in fourth gear. But I would downshift if I'm wanting to slow down from 55 mile an hour and I'm in fifth gear, I would just downshift into fourth. I don't downshift any higher than 55 miles an hour into fourth gear. And if I'm doing 45, I have been known to downshift, but sometimes I just kind of, just put it in neutral, coast into whatever speed. But most of the time, if I'm doing 55 mile an hour, I'll shift into fourth gear if I want to downshift. And then if I'm no higher than about 45 miles an hour to shift into downshift into third gear, no higher than about 35 to downshift into second gear. And I don't downshift into first gear. I have done that in a video or two before, but I don't do that on a regular basis because I don't feel it's necessary, because first gear is so slow that it's just not worth it. First gear, give it a little bit of gas and release the clutch slowly. Second gear, third gear. Part of the reason I've been trying to post more videos on how to drive a stick shift and post consistently is not only just to get my channel to grow, but also because driving a stick shift is becoming a kind of a dying mode of transportation. Not a lot of people either want to drive one or even know how to drive one. But the biggest reason I'm doing all these videos on how to drive a stick shift for my channel is because I learned how to drive a stick through YouTube. So I'm kind of giving back to that. It's kind of interesting because I didn't learn how to drive a stick how to drive a manual vehicle at all until about, it's been almost 8 years now. It's about the middle part of 2016. I learned how to drive a stick shift in June of that year. My first ever stick shift vehicle was a 1999 Honda Accord. It drove identically to how this one drives because it was also a 2.3 liter 4-cylinder 5-speed. But my next vehicle that I got was a 02 Honda Civic that was also a 4-cylinder 5-speed, but it was only a 1.9 liter engine. Then I got rid of that one and got this one. I have test driven, the biggest engine I've ever test driven that was a stick shift was I believe it was like a 2020 or 2021 Dodge Challenger. It was a V8, pretty sure it was a Hemi actually. I believe it was only a 5-speed, but oh my gosh, that thing was, I'll be honest, that thing was intimidating. I did not feel comfortable driving that. A friend of mine, he is a car salesman, and he let me test drive it with him in the passenger seat. I drove it for a couple miles, and I pulled over and I said, "All right, your turn." He's like, "You ain't back at the dealership yet." I was like, "And I'm not driving back, you are." Right now, I'm at 55 miles an hour in 5th gear. My RPMs are just above 2,500, but I can't shift any higher than 5th gear because this is a 5-speed, as I said earlier. Part of the reason I'm going out this direction, though, is so I can show you guys not only how I've done a lot of videos on how to do certain things and I've shifted from 1st to 3rd to 5th. I've skipped gears. I've downshifted. I don't want to do all that in this video. I want this video to be my longest video to date. If that doesn't happen, that doesn't happen. I've tried to make a long video. I've only been successful at doing that once. It wasn't really that long. It was like 45 minutes, I think, maybe. Somewhere around there. That is a longer video than I normally make, but it's not as long as some of the videos I've seen on YouTube. Got kind of an open road, so what I'm going to do now is still doing 55 mile an hour. I'm going to downshift into 4th gear. Doing 45 miles an hour. So the vehicle slow down by itself. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed up to 45. There you go. I skipped from 3rd to 5th. I skipped 4th gear. Whenever I skip gears, I've covered this multiple times in other videos. When I skip gears, if I skip gears, the 2 ways I do it are 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 5th, or 1st, 2nd, 4th, 5th. I do not go from 1st to 3rd, or I don't go from 1st to 3rd to 5th, even though I've done that for a video, and I don't take off from 2nd gear and go directly into 3rd or go directly into 4th. I have done those for videos, but I don't do them except for content. Just to show, yes, it's possible. I don't choose to do it on a regular basis. And I don't downshift into 1st, even though I've done that for a video as well. I have tried to make 2 videos in the last couple weeks on driving a stick shift for my channel, and on 2 separate occasions I've been successful on a couple of occasions, because obviously there's more of these videos on my channel, but a couple times I've had to not upload because the video, like something happened in the video that I didn't feel comfortable uploading. Earlier today, I actually tried to do a how to drive a stick shift video for my channel, and the camera, like, it was on my tripod stand, which is in the car, instead of the camera holder that's on my door right now, and the tripod stand kept rocking back and forth, and the camera kept getting messed up, so camera angle kept getting messed up, so I didn't upload it. The other video, something else happened with that, but I'm not going to go into detail about what happened there because it's not important. I'm almost to a point where I can slow down / downshift or whatever and show you guys a little bit more on skip gear. Do the things I've been wanting to do in this video, which is skip gears, show you how, yes, it's possible, but it's not necessarily difficult, just it's not difficult to skip gears, it's not difficult to take off from 2nd gear, it's just not good on the vehicle, on the transmission, if you do that consistently. I'm doing between 55 and 60 miles an hour, and I got somebody riding on me right now, like right behind me. Something tells me I'm about to get passed. Yeah, there it is. Wave at them as they go on. Oh, somebody else is coming up on me. I was downshifting to slow down because I'm getting ready to turn. I'm gonna put the vehicle in neutral, just coast into this turn. As you noticed, if you looked, I was in second gear through the turn. I never had to go into first gear. Because honestly, if you take a turn just right and you know how to drive these things, how to drive any manual vehicle, second gear is usually a good gear to turn in. Turns wide enough, I've taken them in third gear before, but most of the time I take turns in second gear. I don't feel the need to slow down into first gear because it's just 10 to 12 miles an hour, sometimes 14, maybe 15 miles an hour is a good turn speed. It's actually not as fast as it may sound, even though you're turning. So that's why I take turns in second gear. And like I said, I have taken turns in third gear before, but it was a turn in the road, but it was a wide turn. Now I'm going to turn around. Something else I wanted to cover in this video. Whenever I'm using reverse, I don't give the vehicle gas when I'm going in reverse. What I do is I just put it in reverse, slowly let off the clutch, and the vehicle is already starting to go backwards. First. Third. Fifth. So it's possible to do that, but it was, if you notice how the engine and the transmission sounded, it was not so pleasant. Now I'm in second gear. I'm going to take off from second gear. Shift. Speed up to 30 mile an hour, just shift directly into fourth. I'm in fourth. I'm in 40 miles an hour right now. Third. Second. First. See, it was so much more difficult, and I had to go so much slower to downshift into first. That's why I don't do it on a regular basis. Sorry, I'm just waiting on traffic to clear up before I go. first, second, third, fifth, shift back into fifth. I was going to just coast, but I see a vehicle coming up behind me, and I still got a little bit of ways to go before I get to my turn. Press the brake. I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to slow down. I'm going to shift into second gear through this turn. I have seen videos where if a hill is steep enough and people are going up a hill, they will use their parking brake as a way to keep their vehicle stopped. If you get good enough with it, you can, you don't have to do that. Basically what they do is they put their parking brake up at the same time their brake pedals on, or they put their parking brake up, and then when it's time there for them to go up this hill or whatever, they put the parking brake down while simultaneously releasing the clutch pedal and hitting the gas. If you get good enough, all you have to do is use your clutch pedal and your gas. When I first started learning how to drive a stick shift, I was using the parking brake at steep hills, but as I got better with it, I didn't have to do that because I knew how to simultaneously hit the, take my foot off the brake while slowly releasing the clutch pedal and giving it a little bit of gas while the vehicle was in gear. Well, this is gonna. Okay. Sometimes it doesn't want to. Sometimes it just doesn't want to go into reverse. I don't know why. It likes to be difficult sometimes. No, I don't use my parking brake. I have done it for a video or two, but I don't use my parking brake at steep hills anymore because I'm just used to being able to know how to, release it at the bite point slowly and hit the gas and take off. Plus, where I live, there's not a whole lot of real steep hills to where I have to do that anyway. There's one or two steep hills where I live in the city that I live. And like I said, I've done that sort of thing for a video, taking off on a real steep hill while using the parking brake. But as I got more experience with driving a manual vehicle, not having to do that. Last time I went from third to fifth. This time I'm going to skip gears again, but I'm going to go first, second, fourth, fifth. So as traffic clears up, the reason I put it in neutral is because I'm waiting on traffic to clear up. There There we go. Video's almost over, so if you watched to this point, I greatly appreciate it. If you haven't already, please subscribe. But I promise you, this long video, however long it may be, I don't know what time it is on air, I can't tell from this angle. But I hope that you learned something if you're watching this video. Hope this is helping you learn how to drive a manual vehicle. If this is what, obviously, if you're watching this video, you're either trying to learn or trying to see how horrible I'm doing it. My turn is coming up, so I'm going to downshift. But I'm only going to downshift into fourth gear because there is traffic behind me. Not directly behind me, but there is traffic behind me. So I'm not going to slow down and downshift any lower than fourth gear. Sorry, I realize now that the camera was shaking momentarily. I heard it clicking. Second gear through a turn. I'm not going to park or anything because I covered that at the beginning. So, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll talk to everyone very soon.